This is what we're dealing with. Yeah, this is kind of an extreme, but this is a stream crossing on a local road that we see this kind of thing more and more often. So today we are going to talk about project overview. We're going to kind of break it down into the processes, tasks, and timeline of the project. Talk about next steps, and of course have time for questions and comments at the end. So, starting with the end in mind, we are hoping through collective efforts, we envision a region with resilient roadways, enhancing economic development, bolstering businesses, and ensuring safe and reliable access for residents during all weather conditions. So a tiny bit of background. The intense storms in 2021 and 2022 triggered disaster declarations. Critical culverts failed. And we know that the cost of engineering and reconstruction with upgraded culverts is often challenging for small communities. There will likely be more money for improvements down the road, but awards are going to be competitive. So MCOG applied for funding for the Economic Development Administration to address these issues. Our project goals are to develop regional and municipal improvement plans for culverts and tidal crossings, position towns for implementation funding, and through workshops, trainings, and local funding strategies, help towns with knowledge and resources to prepare for the future challenges. So there are 5 steps to this process happening now through the fall of 2025. And it begins with information gathering, and it ends with municipal implementation plans that are tailored to your needs. And in between, we'll be assisting communities with this thing called Stream Smart Culverts, and I'll tell a little bit about that. We'll be conducting a regional scale assessment to determine the highest priority culverts to the region, as a whole, and then develop a regional action plan. The big idea here is that by acting together, towns will benefit individually and be a part of a larger project so we can go after bigger funding opportunities together. So just digging a little bit more into that, we're going to start with gathering local knowledge, and that will be by connecting with your culvert-related decision makers to make sure that the project is meeting your needs. We'd like to schedule an initial meeting to go over a checklist to find out what information is available on your vulnerable culverts and how you fund upgrades. Next, well, actually, this part of the project takes place really for the duration of the project, but it is preparing Stream Smart culvert plans and hosting trainings. Stream Smart is a design approach that enhances wildlife passage through culverts under roadways. The idea is that water, stream beds, and banks flow seamlessly under the roadway. And this is good for people as well as wildlife because these types of culverts are designed to accommodate high storm flows so they won't wash out, triggering costly repairs. Included in the project is preparing either preliminary designs or implementation plans for up to 10 high priority sites across the 2 counties. We're also working with the soil and water conservation districts to host up to 6 best practices in trainings for elected officials or town staff, including funding options. There will be 3 in Waldo and 3 in Knox County. Next, we'll be conducting a regional scale assessment, and that will be starting this fall. There are at least 425 road-related stream crossings in Knox and Waldo County. We'll be developing a priority rating system for those, which culverts are the most critical for vehicular access, which are high habitat value, which get people to work and which are important for emergency response and which are the municipal priorities. So we'll be taking that information and kind of augmenting an existing, there are good existing databases right now for the culverts in the area. But we'll be adding to that database so that we can screen then on a variety of questions. What we're hoping will come out of that will be data that's based on priorities, risk, and estimated cost to upgrade. And that will form the basis for a kind of coherent regional strategy for upgrading the vulnerable culverts. Next, we'll be developing a regional action plan, and that will be in the summer of 2025. Based on the regional assessments and municipal input, we'll prepare preliminary action plans that summarize the findings and propose an overall coordinated and collaborative strategy for upgrading the highest priority road crossing. We'll send you that plan for your input and comment, and then prepare the final regional action plan. And as I said before, with a regional action plan, we can go after funding for larger projects that have both municipal and regional impact. So a lot of times the funding proposal will be more competitive if it supports a larger regional action plan. And finally, we'll prepare individual municipal implementation plans if you don't already have one, or we can help augment plans that you already have. And that will include developing funding strategies with each town. We will host funding and capital improvement program workshops and assist with developing budget strategies. So in the end, each town will have an individualized report, resources from Stream Smart trainings, implementation strategies, and capital improvement plans. So the next step is we would love for you to designate a contact person, schedule a time to meet with MCOG staff so that we can review the checklist and start to gather the information. So pretty simple. So now that's really it in a nutshell. I welcome questions and comments. Just go ahead and unmute yourself and fire them out there if you'd like. Well, I will ask you questions. Does this seem like a project that would be helpful for your town? I got a thumbs up. Thanks, Hannah. Is this, are there any other comments on the scope of work or ways that we could make this project more helpful for your town?
Hey, Meg, I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So is this focus going to be just on Stream Smart crossings, or will any crossing?
Yeah, any crossing. We just carved out a little chunk of money to do the Stream Smart ones where Stream Smart's appropriate. You know, that's, and towns would like to do it. Like we have funding for a practitioner, an engineer, or someone who has expertise in that field to come and actually, you know, do the calculations and do the plans. Okay. But it's not only for Stream Smart crossings.
Okay. And is it for, I mean, so we're actually in the process of a comprehensive inventory of every culvert in town, driveway culverts, cross culverts, stream crossings. Would this cover driveway culverts as well, or is this just for streams?
It's just for streams, that's where we saw the most impact in terms of flooding in the region, and that's what our grant with EDA is focused on.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Mm-hmm. All right, anybody have anything else? Okay, I am not sure why there is so much quiet here.
Well, I'm just going to pipe up and say that I think Owl's Head probably has too few stream crossings, and more of our culverts are more on the ocean side rather than the stream side.
Yes, this also covers tidal crossings. I should have made that.
Oh, okay. All right. So who is are you the contact person for getting information
Yes.
and deciding who's high priority, or starting all of that ball rolling?
Yeah, to start the information gathering phase, I would be the contact person for Owl's Head. We have staff who are working with some of the other communities closely, and so they will be the contact people. They'll be reaching out to communities they already work with. But I've been working with Owl's Head, so Lynn, I'm really happy to connect with you.
Thank you. I'm gonna, Linda sent me this link, so I'll be, on Monday, I'll be giving a little update on what I found on your website.
Okay, and if you'd like a copy of the PowerPoint, just email me and I can send it to you.
Okay. All right, I'll do that. Yeah, I don't know that Owl's Head has gotten to a point where they've appointed somebody, because Linda, of course, didn't give me that part of it. Just sent me the link, and because we're working on the culvert down here at Crescent Beach already. So, and there are different monies that are available for kind of crossover things. So, the money that we're getting from the federal monies for the damage that was done, and the prevention that is hopefully going to be done, is sort of, I don't know how that meshes with the funds that you are handling.
Well, this is mostly a planning project. So the funding is to, help municipalities develop action plans for tidal and stream crossings, vulnerable ones.
Okay.
And then, but really a part of that is we can provide expertise on funding sources and how to develop, maybe a 5 to 10 year plan on how to address the ones that are an issue in your town.
Okay. All right. Well, that's helpful. Thank you.
Meg, we have some culvert work that is hopefully taking place a bit sooner than this timeline in response to last winter's storms. And so I didn't know what the best way to making sure that that is included in this, if we are a bit ahead of schedule.
Yeah, that's fine. I've been working with St. George on the on the culverts that were identified in the vulnerability assessment that was recently done. So there's a kind of a funding plan in place for that. And then there probably is other ones that the town is wanting to do sooner than some of the funding cycles. So you should pursue those funds actively in the meantime. And then, as we develop the implementation plan with St. George, we can say like, all right, these are, emergency funds. They're good. We don't have to do too much on those. And then start to plan out some of the more challenging ones that are in the future.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
This is Hannah from, sorry, James. From Montville and Liberty, and most of our culverts and damage that happened, actually all of it was not related to streams. It was all just stormwater from the gutters and ditches and all that. And so I'm not sure exactly whether we would ever be part of the Waldo County priorities in what you were just describing. But we're going to be meeting with 80 on Monday in Montville anyway about some other things. So do you think we should just kind of pick her brain when she comes in?
Yeah, we'll take a look at what you've got, like what the issues are and what you've got. And, we'll be able to talk about how you might address those. I think getting them into the, kind of regional plan will be a little more difficult with that, but I think, yeah, we'll think about that and how that might work in this project.
Great, thank you.
What about culverts on Route 1?
Yeah, we're putting them in.
Okay.
And
Would that
then-
be
and
DOT's
then we'll-
responsibility to fix it?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, we need to be engaging DOT on Route 1. We've tried, they know there's issues on it. And so we think this might be an impetus to be able to help get them, engaged. If we can show them the data, show them how these priorities are, how these tidal crossings, mostly tidal crossings there,
Mhm.
are really issues to get them to the table to get a, kind of a work plan for these.
Okay, cool.
Any other thoughts or questions? This is good. All right, that's great. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Either reach out to me or we will be reaching out to you over the next, we have a couple of months to be doing this. So we want to be able to fit in with your work schedule. But as soon as we can start to gather the information, the sooner we can be getting the ball rolling. So I appreciate your time today. And if questions occur to you later on, please feel free to email me.